Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so I've wanted to shoot with a Campsnap camera for ages. I see them online all the time, and at Christmas, Sarah got me one. So we're away in London for my birthday, and I thought it's the perfect time to just head out and see what this little camera can do. I took a few photos last night. I'll put my favorite one like up here somewhere. But today we're just gonna head out, get some breakfast, walk around, take a bunch of photos, and see what I think of it. Just so you know, all the photos in this video, except for that first one that I showed you, will be straight out of camera. Okay, so I'm thinking we just wander around London, starting here because it's really close to the hotel, and just see what we get. I'm going to be taking like more like touristy photos, I think, rather than like aiming for street photography, because, well, that's what this is for, right? And if you're wondering how my phone is just currently floating, Sarah's being camera lady today, and she's doing a darn fine job of it. Let's go. It was quite cloudy on the day that we filmed this video, and you'll notice that when there's any breaks in the cloud, the camera can't handle the added sunlight. And so it kind of has this like weird, hazy, overexposed look. Okay, so I've taken like 13 photos with this so far, just today, and it's really light, which is nice, and it's easily pocketable. But the only thing I'm finding with it so far is the viewfinder and the way the photos are taken don't like match up perfectly. So what you think you're taking a photo of and what you actually take a photo of are very slightly different. So I'm gonna have to get used to that. But for now, I just need to keep shooting. One thing that I am loving so far, and it's one of the things I find really freeing when I shoot film, is that you don't stop and stare at the photos afterwards. So you just like, I'm just running around like clicking, taking loads of photos, and it'll be just fun, I guess, later on to just see how they came out. Okay, so I know I am reviewing this camera today, but while we take a sit down and relax, I thought it would be the perfect time to put things on charge, and that is the perfect time to tell you about the INIU Cougar P63 that INIU sent over to me. So if you've seen my videos before, you know that I always have a power bank in my camera bag or in my bag when I travel, but normally when I get one, they are quite big, like this way, or they're really thick, or they're smaller but they just don't have much capacity. Whereas this power bank is about the size of a deck of cards. But don't be fooled by how small it is. It's actually a 25,000 milliamp hour power bank, which is more than enough for a couple of days of travel. I'll put up like here an example of how many times it will charge different devices. I've got the black one, but they actually come in a different range of colors, and currently on Amazon it's about £75, so it's a pretty good price too. It has three outputs: a 15 watt, a 45 watt and a 100 watt port, and you can charge multiple items at once, which is super handy. So for example, it provides up to 110 watt output of high-speed charging for two devices at once. So in 25 minutes, it will charge a MacBook Pro, like the 14-inch, up to 42%, while at the same time charging an iPhone 15 to 66%. My favorite bit about this power bank though is the digital display. So with other power banks, you get like 4 lights and you kind of have to guess what percentage you have left. With this, it just tells you on the screen exactly what percentage you have, which is just way handier than having to guess every time. So if you need a new power bank for traveling or to throw into your camera bag, check the links in the description to find out all about INIU's latest power bank. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get back to taking some photos. Okay, so we've come back to the room for a bit, we're gonna get changed, and then we're going out for this evening. So I'm gonna take the camera out with me and see what it's like to shoot in darker areas. See, it's a very small sensor camera, so I'm not expecting a lot. It does have a flash, but it's just a bright LED, effectively. So yeah, I probably won't speak too much. We're going out, having a few drinks, playing some games and stuff, but I'll test it out. I'll show you what I get. And then in the morning, we'll go out and we'll shoot in a different location. So I just had a quick look through the photos that I've taken today. And one thing that I have noticed, and that I've actually actively tried to not do, but still managed it, is that it's really easy to get your finger in the photo because there's like a little thumb bit here, but then especially if you have like bigger hands, there isn't a lot of space to like put your fingers without them kind of getting in the shot. So that's annoying. You can crop most of them out. You probably, in the photos you've seen, probably won't even notice that some of them have my finger in it. But yeah, it's one thing to think of. If you have larger hands, this camera is definitely tougher to use. It'd be nice if the lens was just slightly over a bit, or directly underneath the viewfinder. That would also probably solve the problem I had earlier as well, where the photo you take and the photo you think you're taking are slightly different. Anyway, I've got to get ready because I've got a reservation to be at, so let's get going. Okay, morning guys. So I'm not going to talk for too long because it is freezing out here today, but we're going to go take a few more photos. I'm near St. Paul's, so I'm going to try and recreate a couple of the photos that I would have posted in the last video that I posted. So get out, take a few, and then I'll catch back up with you when we're back home and give you my final thoughts. Okay, so it's been about a week since I've come back from shooting with this in London, and I've had some time to think about it, and I've made some notes which I've written over here, so you'll definitely see me glance off. And so I thought, yeah, I'd just quickly share with you like my final thoughts and whether or not I enjoyed shooting with it, really. Okay, so I'm going to start by telling you the things that I liked about it, and number one for me was I actually really did enjoy shooting with it. It was fun to shoot with. It's very light, it's very pocketable. And as I mentioned before, it has the fun quality of when you shoot film, where you are just snapping away. You can't look at your images unless you have a cable on you to plug into your phone, but you can't look at your images, and so you don't spend ages obsessing. You just get a couple of different shots at each place and you just move on. And for that reason, I really enjoyed having it on me. Another good thing about this was that when you fully charge it, it lasts for ages. I went out with this on like 80%, I think. And when I got back from a day of shooting, it had got down to maybe 20. I took a lot of photos in that day, and I also kept turning it on to take photos, finding that actually I didn't want to shoot something there, and so the camera spent a lot of its time just on, but it's only powering like this LED screen here. Obviously there is an LED on the front. I didn't use it that often, so that might adjust how long the battery lasts for. Okay, and that brings me on to the things I didn't love about this camera. Now, one of them is something that I mentioned while we were out there, and that is that the viewfinder and the lens don't match up, like they're not in line with each other. So if you're looking through here, you're looking like a little bit off from where the actual lens is, which when I've looked at other like competitors to this, has been fixed in like newer versions. So I think for the next Campsnap camera, if they watch this, which I doubt it, they should definitely bring the viewfinder and the lens in line. I know this is marketed
for kids, but everyone else uses it now. And one of the things that is a bit annoying is it's hard to hold. My hands aren't massive, right? But especially where this is slightly to the right, you don't get much. There is a thumb grip or a dent on the back, but you don't get much space to put your fingers. And if you have your fingers slightly curved like this, it's really easy to just get a knuckle in the shot. I think, and I'm tempted to try it, that it might be worth having like a little stick-on grip here, like the ones you can get for the Sony RX100s. You can get a little plastic stick-on or rubbery grip that goes here. And I think just having that little bit to like wrap your fingers around here would stop you being like this by accident. So I might pick one up, and if I do and it works, I'll update you. And one thing that I think is on the good and bad list are filters. So the fact that you can apply filters to this camera, they've got the standard, the vintage, and the black and white at time of recording, I think is great. It's very easy to do. You quickly upload them through the USB-C port here, done. Now the bad side to that is there's no way to adjust them on the fly, and I think it would be great if you could. If you could load all three and then choose, and you wouldn't need to do anything big, like just have like VIN for vintage or BLK for black and white or B&W, you know, whatever. There are buttons on here already that have mode up and down, and that allows you to change like the sound that would come out of here, like how much of a sound you get, along with a couple of other bits like setting the time and date. But as far as I'm aware, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but at the time of recording, you can't change the filters. You can only have one preloaded at a time. So yeah, I think that pretty much rounds it up. I enjoyed shooting with the camera. I'm going to shoot with the camera again. I'm going to make a few modifications to it for sure. I'm going to enlist the help of some friends that 3D print and see what I can do there. But I'll definitely take it out again. And I think what it's designed for as something you can just throw in your pocket, or you can give to a child and they can just run around and have a great time with, like, it does hit that on the head. But if they can just iron out those last few features, I think it would be great. So let me know in the comments if you have a Campsnap camera and what version you have and what you think of it, and whether you would upgrade to this or a future one. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I have a bunch of stuff lined up this year, including a product that was sent to me today of time of recording that I'm going to be reviewing in the next video. So I literally cannot wait for you guys to see that, and I'll catch you in that video.